Hey guys, if you're interested in any figures or figure accessories that I have currently up for sale, go ahead and send me an email. Just go to my channel page on YouTube and go to the About section, click on that, and you'll be able to get in touch with me. It's a long road when you're on your own. And it hurts when they tear your dreams apart. How's it going, my fellow collectors? I have returned once more to bring you another 1/6 scale review. And as you can see in front of you, the figure is John Rambo from the movie First Blood. So we're going to start this review off as usual with the first category being the source information. And I have to tell you guys that the first Rambo movie was my favorite from the original trilogy. And just as the order of the movies started coming out, that's pretty much the order in which I rate them in. They just progressively started getting weaker and weaker with every release that came out. Until the newest, most recent Rambo movies, of course. But yeah, part 1, my most favorite, still to this day. Those of you who haven't watched this movie, it's basically about a Vietnam veteran who is returning home from the war. And he's going to visit an old friend who served in the same unit as him in the war. And he finds out he's dead, so he moves on. And he starts walking through this small town, and the sheriff there starts harassing him. And Rambo starts pushing back. And it just spirals out of control from there. You guys just gotta watch the movie. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So, because it's my favorite movie, I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. Alright, so that takes care of the source information, but before we move on, I want to talk you guys through this pose. He's basically living off the land, as Colonel Troutman would say, and he's getting ready to stick a boar. He's trapped in the forest, so he's got to look for stuff to eat. So he's doing a little hunting. And one thing about this spear, guys, it's a little tricky to get the knife into the stick. So stick around and I'm going to show you guys how that's done. But for now, we're going to move on to the next category. Alright, so we've made it to the category of packaging. And it is a pretty good package, I'd say. They use the movie poster for the art box. And it's a good image to use, I'd say. So starting with the image, as I said, it's the picture from the movie poster. And on the bottom, the graphic says Rambo. I don't know why they put that on the front. It should have said First Blood. But, you know, whatever. And they use this high gloss red color for the letters. Very shiny. And on the top of the box it says John Rambo. And on the bottom left it says 1/6. And on the bottom right you get the 30 logo. The company that made the figure. And on the left of the box, in this black high gloss color, it says, "They drew First Blood, not me." A quote from the movie that John Rambo himself says. And on the side of the box, you get an image of the M16 that Rambo uses. And below that, you get a sticker. I guess that's supposed to represent that the quality seal of approval that this is indeed an actual product from 30. And then it's the 30 logo right on the bottom of that. And in the background you can kind of see a silhouette of trees representing the forest where he was. And on the top it says Rambo, John Rambo. Again, they should have put First Blood instead. On the back, you get an image of the figure holding the M16. On the left, again in high black gloss finish, it says, "You dominate the town. I am the king in the mountains." Now, I don't know why it says that. Maybe it got lost in translation when it was shown in foreign countries. Maybe it changed up during that process. But what he's supposed to say, "In town you're the law, out here it's me." Then on the bottom, you get the warnings and stuff that nobody really reads. Then you get the 30 logo again, and the Rambo logo again on the very bottom. And then on the other side, you get an image of the M60, and on the bottom, you get the 1/6 logo again. And then again, the outline of the trees in the background, and the same thing on the top as the other side. And on the top of the box, it says Rambo, John Rambo again, and on the bottom left, it's the 30 logo again, and 1/6 on the bottom left. Again, in a high red gloss finish, it should have said First Blood. And then it does have a window with a Velcro door. So if we open that up, you get a window displaying the figure and all of its accessories. And then it says again, Rambo, John Rambo. And then on the inside of the door, it says John Rambo at the top. And then we get another quote from the movie in a black high gloss finish. It says, "Stop here or I'll show you the incredible war." And again, that's not exactly what it says in the movie. It's supposed to say, "Don't push it or I'll give you a war you won't believe." Another quote from John Rambo himself. And in the background, we get another outline of the trees in the forest area of where they were. And on the bottom, you just get a barcode sticker and nothing else. And that's it. So all in all, nice packaging. The only thing that bothers me are the quotes from the movies. If it would have been accurate with that, then it would have gotten a perfect 10 out of 10. Maybe. But as it stands, I'll give it a 9. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys the knife and the spear. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to install the knife onto the hunting stick. As you can see, it's already sculpted the section where you install the knife, so you don't have to worry about wrapping anything around it. So yeah. So the first thing you have to do is take the knife, and it does have a removable compass on the bottom. So what you're going to do is take that compass out like that, and as you can see, here's the compass. And don't try to stick the knife, the handle of the knife, into the stick with the compass on, because you will probably get the compass stuck inside the stick, so don't do that. Alright, so the next step, what you're going to do is take the stick, as you can see here, and now we're going to insert the handle of the knife into that stick. And what you have to do is you have to keep twisting until it's all the way in, because it is a tight fit. So, and there you go, it's all the way in. Don't try to just push it in. You have to twist it, because it is a tight fit, and if you just push it in, you're most likely to break the handle or the knife or something. And once we have it all the way in, we're going to reinstall the compass. And there you go. It's in. And there you have your hunting knife. transformed into a spear. Yeah, I've seen a lot of collectors who own this figure just do the things that I just warn you guys not to do, and it doesn't work out good for them. So that's why I'm showing you guys how to do it. So make sure you just do it that way and you guys will be alright. Okay, so moving on with the review. Alright, so now we've made it to the category of likeness. And I gotta tell you guys that 3-0 did an outstanding job with this head sculpt. I think they nailed it. It does look like Sylvester Stallone from the first Rambo movie. Some people may think that this head sculpt is the same head sculpt that 3-0 did with the Rambo 3 figure, but it's not. Some of the features on the face are different. I can't describe to you exactly what's different because I don't own the Rambo 3 figure, but I have seen comparisons online, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that both of these head sculpts are different. The expression on the face is a little bit different. The hair on here is shorter and messier, whereas on the Rambo 3 figure, it's longer. I will tell you that the Rambo 3 figure, the likeness to Sylvester Stallone on that figure, it's a lot more accurate than this version. That one looks a lot more like Sylvester Stallone than this one, but that's just my opinion. But regardless, they still nailed it with this one. And I like the way they incorporated the bandana. It's real fabric. Even on his forehead, I don't know if you can tell. And the way that it matches the poncho, you would think that it's cut from the same material. So yeah, excellent job they did. They even got the blood and the 5 o'clock shadow that he had in the movie as well. I like the expression on the face. It's kind of got that look where this is a guy you don't want to mess with. So given that it's the same likeness that what Sylvester Stallone used to look like during this film, I'm going to have to give the likeness a 10 out of 10. Okay, so that takes care of the likeness category. Now we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, now we've made it to the category of outfit. And there is quite a few things to say about this outfit. I guess we'll start off as usual from the top to the bottom. The bandana, they did make it out of a fabric material, even around the head, as I've mentioned before. So that's pretty cool. The poncho is also made of a fabric material. They seem to have done a lot to it. I'm not exactly sure what, but it looks like they've weathered it. And it seems that they've added a paint or a finish to it. Something, I don't know. All I know is that when I pulled the poncho out of the packaging, it gave off this smell. It's like a chemical smell. They just made it look dirty. But anyway, because of the paint or finish or whatever they put on it, that is why I put some plastic underneath the poncho. Because I have heard that leaving the poncho on the body for too long will stain the body. So that's why I decided to put a layer of plastic underneath the poncho. In case you guys were wondering why there was some plastic there. I want to talk about the body as well. This seems to be a reuse of the Rambo 3 body that 3-0 has used in the past. Even Sylvester Stallone himself said that when people tried to do Rambo or whatever other character that he has portrayed in the past, they tend to just reuse the same body. I'll play a clip of what he said.
I've seen so many of these come out so poorly, with the arms out to here, the fist down there. Then I realized they just take one head and put it on the same body for about 100 different characters.
And that seems to be the case with this figure. And that's not accurate. He wasn't this buff uh, in this film, the first Rambo movie. He should have been just a little bit less muscular. My other complaint with this body is that the wound that he has on his shoulder, it's not that great. It's kind of sloppy and it sucks. They didn't even add a gloss finish to make it look like it's wet blood. If you guys take a look at the promotional images of this figure, the wound is done a lot better in those photos. Whereas this looks just kind of awful. Anyway, getting back to the outfit, we also get this cord that you can tie around his waist, and I do believe there is wire in it, so you can tie it around his waist just like in the movie. And underneath his poncho, he also has his tank top, which is weathered and dirty, just like he looked in the movie. And he's also got his belt that goes around his jeans, and that belt is made of a pleather material, so do be careful with that. I know that will eventually start to deteriorate. So if you own this figure, just take good care of that. At least that's what I'm afraid of might happen. And he also has his sheath for his knife. There it is. And that is also made of a pleather material. And the strap that wraps around his knee is also made of a pleather material. Still really nice though. I assumed that you had to put the sheath on the body yourself, but when I opened it out of the package, he already came wearing it, so you don't have to worry about that, which is cool. That's something I appreciate. So just like I said, it wraps around his knee here in the front. And as for the jeans themselves, they are pretty good. They're pretty typical of what people wore back in the 80s. You know, those faded, tight-fitting jeans. Light blue. And these have also been weathered to make it look like he's been in the forest for some time, running around. Moving on down to the boots. They are made of plastic, but it's this very soft plastic. And since it is a soft material, it allows for excellent articulation at the ankles. So you don't have to worry about him being in a fixed position with his feet. He also comes with some ammo belts that you can wrap around his body, but he doesn't have those on at the moment. But yeah, I have to say that everything is pretty screen accurate to how they made him look. Straight off the movie. They even have this rip on his poncho, which is screen accurate. He had that exact same rip in the movie. So yeah, for the outfit, I'm gonna have to give it another 10 out of 10. Real nice. So just to talk you guys through this pose, he's pretty much just fighting the National Guard in the mine up in the mountains where he was hiding out, firing back at them with the M16 rifle that he stole. Alright, so that takes care of the outfit category. Now we're going to move on to the next. Okay, so now we've made it to the category of articulation. But before we talk about that, I just want to show you guys this side-by-side comparison. I got him standing here next to Major Alan Dutch Schaefer from the movie Predator. And it would have been cool if we got a movie of both these characters together. They did do something close. Not many people will know, but they did base the characters, or these characters, onto the characters from the video game Contra. They based those soldiers from Contra off of these characters. I don't know their names, but yeah, they pretty much ripped off these characters. If you look up the cover to that video game, Contra, on the NES, you can see that those characters are posed in the exact same poses as Dutch Schaefer and Rambo. Anyway, getting back to the figure. He's got really good articulation. The only thing you gotta worry about is the rubber body. But we'll run it down starting from the top as usual. It's a ball and socket joint. You can turn the head a full 360 degrees all the way around. You can tilt his head really good, left and right. He can look up and down really good too. You will have to worry about tucking in his chin to his neck. You don't want to leave it like that because it will indent the rubber on the neck. So be mindful of that. He can articulate from the base of the neck to the top of the neck as well. As for the shoulder joints, the arms can go all the way out. He can do a T-pose. And his arms can rotate a full 360 degrees all the way around. He's got good shoulder shrug as well. He's got butterfly joints in and out, a decent amount as well. I don't know if he has an ab crunch. Every time I do crunch his abs, it crunches from the waist. But he might, I'm just not sure. But the ab crunch is pretty good. And it's pretty good backward as well. When we get to the elbows, that's where the problem comes in. There is an infamy to these elbows. When you bend them, they do look a little weird because they are seamless. If you bend them all the way up, yeah, they look weird. I don't recommend leaving them in bent poses for too long because it might damage the rubber. But having said that, the rubber is pretty sturdy. So you can leave it like that for, I'd say, about 4 or 5 days without anything happening to the rubber. So it should be good for that. But when you do bend the elbows, they have a tendency to unbend themselves. So you can probably get one more notch upward with this elbow of what you see here right now. But if you go any further than that, the rubber just tends to straighten out the arm by itself. So that kind of sucks. He's got good waist swivel. He can kick his leg forward about 40 degrees, maybe a little less. And he can kick backward a little bit, not much. And he can't really do the splits because of the jeans, but he can spread his legs far enough. He does have double bend knees, which is good. He's also got thigh swivel as well, that's pretty good. And the ankles, as I said before, they got really good articulation. He can stand pretty much on his own. When you first take him out of the package, the ankles are pretty tight, so you have to move them around to loosen them up a bit. And like I said before, the boots are a soft plastic, so they allow for the ankles to have a wide range of articulation. And you also have standard wrist pegs for the wrists. They're shaped a little bit differently than your standard Hot Toys wrist pegs, but they work pretty much the exact same way. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. Oh, there is one more issue that I need to address. I don't know if this figure suffers from the same problem that the 3-0 Rambo Part 3 figure had, where when you rotate the arms all the way around, if you do that, the paint from the arms tends to rub off. I don't know if this figure has that same issue. I hope they fixed it. I have moved the arms around some, and there hasn't been any paint rubbed so far. So that's good. So just be mindful of that when you get this figure. But as for the articulation, overall, I'm going to give this category a 8 out of 10. If it weren't for those elbows, then maybe it'll get a perfect 10. But as it stands, it's getting an 8. Alright, so that takes care of the articulation. Now we're going to move on to the next category. Alright, so now we've made it to the category of accessories. And it comes with a decent amount. As usual, we're going to start with the hands. It comes with a total of 8 hands. And they're all pretty well made. I'd say that they're Hot Toys quality. They're really nicely painted, and you can see the veins and everything. So you get a pair of trigger finger hands, a pair of hands for holding his spear. You get a pair of fists, which come on the figure out of the packaging. You get one left relaxed hand and one right hand for holding his knife. And we also get his poncho, which we already talked about. And we also get the cord that you can use to tie the poncho around his waist. It is made of bendy wire. Then we also get 5 bullet belts, 2 that go around his chest and 2 that go around his waist, and 1 that actually does fit into the M60 machine gun, and it kind of wraps around his other hand. So they're really nice. They're made of this very soft plastic. And then we get 4 extra wrist pegs. And they're nice, I guess. They're painted the same color as the rest of his skin, like his arms and such. So it blends very well with the rest of the arm. It's still noticeable, but it blends well. We also get his hunting knife, which is made of plastic. There are some people who say that they would have preferred a die-cast metal knife. And yeah, that would have been nice. But I heard that 3.0, the reason that they didn't make it out of actual metal was to keep it child friendly. In case you have kids in the house, you don't want them playing with it. And as I said before, it does have a removable compass on the handle. And you got this little strap that's attached to the knife. It's made of like a fabric material. And then we also get the makeshift spear, which is really nice. It looks like it's actual wood, but it's not. It's plastic as well. And you also get this hemp at the end of the stick, which is used to tie the knife to the stick. And then moving on to the guns, we get the M16 assault rifle. And it's painted very nice. It's got good weathering. They use this metallic-like paint on the midsection of the rifle. And there is movable parts. You can remove the magazine. And this piece in the back as well, you can move that in and out as well. But the magazine was very, very tight. I was beginning to think that you couldn't pull it out and it was non-removable. But I saw these other reviews on this figure and they seem to have pulled the magazine out of the rifle. So I knew that it was removable. So I attempted it again, and with some effort, I pulled it out. I managed. And you can see the bullets inside and everything as well. But one thing I will say is that the strap is non-adjustable. So I don't know how you're supposed to fit this around his back when he does carry it on his back. You guys let me know, because you can't adjust the strap. It's stitched together. So let me know in the comments what I should do about that. Now we move on to the M60 belt-fed machine gun. So this is very nice. It's got the same weathering that the M16 has. It's got like a scratched metal midsection here to make it look like it has been used and worn. This section on the back of the stock does pop out. And this piece here does move up and down, as you can see. So that's where the bullets will be fed into the machine gun. And also this part too, it articulates as well, the handle. I wouldn't have the Rambo figure carry it because it feels pretty flimsy and fragile. So yeah, I wouldn't have him carry it with that handle. And then the sights do come up as well. So you can have him as if he was aiming down sights. One thing that is disappointing to me with this gun, the kickstand is non-functional. It doesn't articulate, so you can't make it go out. It's just in a fixed position like this. Kinda sucks, but oh well. And this strap does adjust, not like the M16. So you can tighten it, you can loosen it, you can do whatever you want with it, which is really nice. And that's about it for the accessories. As you can see, it doesn't come with a stand. That sucks. I've seen many reviews for 3.0 figures, and every review that I've seen, none of those have a stand. None of those figures. So you guys at 3.0, you guys need to get on the ball. You need to start making some bases for these figures. It doesn't even have to be a diorama. You can just give us a regular oval style base. but we need a stand. It's very necessary, in my opinion. And this figure also does come with an instruction manual. It shows you how to put on the poncho, how to put on the ammo bullet belts, and things of that nature. But yeah, this definitely could have come with a lot more accessories. Maybe we could have gotten an extra head sculpt of his first appearance in the movie without his bandana when he was still clean. He hasn't been arrested yet. They could have gave us that head sculpt. They could have gave us the green army jacket, the red long sleeve t-shirt. They also could have given us a torch that he uses to navigate through the cave where all the rats get on him. That would have been nice. And I don't mean a torch as in a flashlight. I mean an actual torch, with a stick that has the flame on the top. One thing that I thought was absolutely necessary as an accessory that they should have included was a camouflage bunch of leaves that he could have had. You could attach it to his back, when he's wearing his poncho. Those are the leaves that he used when he was ambushing the sheriff's deputies. So yeah, we could have gotten some leaves or little miniature plastic plants to put on the figure. That would have made the figure look that much more badass. So because of all that and the base, I'm going to have to give this figure a 7 out of 10 on accessories. So that takes care of the category of accessories. I'm going to put the figure in one more pose and we'll add up the scores and wrap up this review. Okay, so here I have him standing next to the caustic plastic Rocky Balboa figure from Rocky 1. And as you can see, he is very much taller than the Rambo figure. I think a lot of it has to do with the stand and the boots. Anyway, getting back to the review, I'm going to move Rocky off to the side here. So for the overall score, this figure is going to get a 54 out of 60. A pretty high score. I'd say that 3-0 did an excellent job with this figure. And if I talk you guys through this pose, it's basically at the end of the movie when Rambo turns himself in and he gets arrested by Colonel Samuel Troutman. Rambo decides to give up. So yeah, that's a huge topic of debate among fans of the novel and fans of the movie. According to the novel, he's supposed to die at the end of the story. I don't know if he commits suicide or if he has Colonel Troutman kill him. I haven't read the novel. That's not how the movie goes. He just turns himself in and they send him to prison. I kind of side with the idea that yeah, they should have just killed him off and stayed true to the novel. But from what I've heard, Sylvester Stallone had conversations with other people in Hollywood. He's like, no, I want to keep going. I want to make sequels. And I don't think that was such a good idea because the sequels were mediocre at best. They don't even compare to the first one. They should have just left it at the one and just stopped there. Alright, so we're going to do one more thing and then wrap up this review. Okay, so here we have the Mortal Kombat guest list roster. Starting off on the left, we have the Predator. And then Terminator. And then RoboCop. And then in the back, Alien. And last but not least, Rambo. So Predator and Alien guest starred in Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat X. and Terminator, RoboCop, and Rambo guest starred in Mortal Kombat 11. So there you go, guys. That is a wrap of the entire review. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. But until next time, guys, I shall catch you all later on the tube. Alright, bye, guys.